We're out here in the countryside, bright and early, with a really special motorcycle. Now, there are so many bikes on the market today, and most of them are so well produced, you'll go a long way to critique them. But every now and then there's that one motorcycle that's produced that's just a little bit better than the rest, just a little bit more special, and that's the bike that'll be the future icon, unicorn, the investment bike that'll grow in value. And I believe I'm with just such a bike here today. The bike I'm talking about is the Aprilia RSV4 factory, and it's not just any RSV4 factory. It is the swan song, the final edition, limited edition, and just the finest RSV4 ever made after 12 years in production. Now, merely walking up to the machine, you can already see it's special. You will see truckloads of carbon fiber all over the bike. Even these winglets, front mudguard, look at these winglets, straight off the Aprilia MotoGP project. These iconic tri-headlights produced for 12 years. Now this paint job, a modern spin of the tricolore, the Italian flag, known as the Atomic Racer graphics, with this matte black, really exquisite. What an amazing bike. This motor is the first tight angled 65-degree V4 motor, now known as a 1100. It's actually 107cc, producing 122 Newton meters, 217 horsepower. Yes, 217 horsepower standard. It's also the only superbike where you can actually adjust the position of the motor within the frame. And this frame swing arm owes its heritage to the very successful Aprilia RS250, which had 18 world titles, 143 Grand Prix victories. Unbelievable. It's just been refined all the way. And yes, your eyes don't deceive you, this is a stock standard exhaust that comes delivered with the bike. It is a street legal lighter titanium Akrapovic pipe, and I mean just every detail on this bike. Having a look at the front wheel, 17-inch shod with a 120, ABS, Brembo brakes, Öhlins all the way to the top. You will see not just Öhlins, semi-active suspension. This ECU doesn't even just control the suspension, it also controls the Öhlin steering damper. So 17-inch light forged Aprilia wheel. The back also 17-inch light forged Aprilia wheel, shod with a 200, ABS, Brembo brakes, everything. If you look, it's manufactured in a monoposto, guys. However, if you see here on the back, there are foot pegs for a pillion, which means if you lift this cover out over here, you can fit your pillion rider seat. Electronic suite on this bike, you have everything from a pit lane limit to anti-wheelie control, traction control, ABS. You even have cruise control on this bike should you wish to go cruising on it. Look at this TFT light up. Now we have to hear this sound. Where have you heard a stock pipe sound this magnificent? Now that is standard and street legal. Just unbelievable. As mentioned, this is the most refined RSV4 ever. It weighs dry weight a mere 184 kilos, 204 kilos wet weight, 217 horsepower. That's insane. That's more than 1 horsepower per kilograms. All these electronic suite, petrol tank taking 18.5 liters, and the motor is a Euro 4. That's where the new 2020 model came in, with a Euro 5 and complete facelift. But I think enough about the specs and the walk around of the bike. I think it's time to get on and go for a ride. One final walk around of this bike. Just look how beautiful this bike is. It is just an absolutely special piece. Here we go then. Immediately feel this bike is strong. Quick shifter, very smooth. I've noticed the higher you go in the rev range, the smoother it becomes. change gears there mid-corner. Have to be a bit cautious, there is traffic out there. And we are on public roads. I think after this we will ride out to take her to the Red Star Raceway. It is an open track and you can have track days. However, I don't know that particular track, but with such a competent bike I think it's not going to be much of a problem. It'll make me look good. There we go. This bike belongs on the track. There's a Porsche, absolutely nuts. My side of the road. Look at these guys. What are they doing? Wonderful machine, I must say. It's nice. It's a small bike. It's a massive super bike if you think about it, 1100cc, but actually very compact little, feels like a 600. The petrol tank is nice and short, so I can sit fairly upright. My 6-foot frame, yeah, one-handed, comfortable. I was wondering why a super bike like this has got cruise control, but I see you can actually go on longer rides on this bike fairly comfortably. The suspension, as you notice in my voice quivering or shaking, is quite stiffly sprung. The semi-active suspension obviously is set up for sport, so I can be an absolutely imbecile and this bike will do everything for me. And it'll make me look like a superstar. I don't have to ride like one, the bike does it for me. Look at this power. Insane. This bike wants are corners, 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 corners. And out here in the countryside, really beautiful. Now down to a sedate pace. It is really stunning. Stunning day, stunning weather, great roads, not too much traffic, and just a wonderful motorcycle. You just cannot but ignore the sound of this exhaust. What a wonderful sound. Listen to this. Stunning. And then that quick shifter, up and down. Have a look on the dash. If I look here, 6, down there we go to 5, 4, no problem. Go to 3, 4, and up we go. Really great. Some of these bumpy roads, the suspension could be a little bit on the stiff side, but a lot of fun. You don't buy these type of super bikes to have a Harley Davidson ride or a cruiser ride. That's when you get a different bike. These sport bikes, you want to have superb handling, superb feeling, front end feel, good quality equipment. So the stopping power is just as important as the acceleration and horsepower, and this combination of Öhlins semi-active suspension, also Öhlins controlled steering damper, electronically controlled, together with these 4-piston dual Brembo calipers up front, massive stopping power. You've even got a Brembo 2-piston caliper at the back. There's enough. There's really enough to stop this beast. But it's a pretty beast. Look at this countryside. This is why we go motorcycling. The freedom. It's just something really special. But I think this bike will be best enjoyed on a track. We will ride out to Red Star Raceway, a track I don't know, so I will behave. I'll go into one of the lower classes, play around, maybe follow an instructor a little bit to show me the lines for a few laps just to get into rhythm. But I'm sure with a competent bike like this, I will get the grips of that track very quickly and I'll still have a lot of fun. This bike will track those apexes, double apexes. Red Star Raceway is a bit of a tight and tricky circuit, very flat, but a bit of a go-kart circuit, very technical. It's not as big and flowing as our Grand Prix circuit, Kyle Army. That is one of my favorite tracks because it has the undulations up and down, it has fast flowing corners, it has 2 straights. It's really a great track, Grand Prix circuit. But why not challenge yourself on a bike that has so many accolades and is so well refined? Why not challenge yourself on a brand new track that's like a go-kart track with many turns? Let's try it out. The suspension is quite stiffly sprung, I must say, but it is in a sport setting, active suspension. I could dial it in differently, I suppose. I just love everything works in harmony on this bike. The semi-active suspension, steering damper, if you wiggle her around, minimal input on the counter steer on handlebars. You just push minimal, and the clutch as well. It's not like the old style 4-arm pump, but you don't need it. If you have a look, 6, 5, 4, 3, all on the quick shifter. Down to 2. You even get it down to 1 on the quick shifter. And now if you go up on the quick shifter, you have a look, lower revs, rocks a little bit. On the higher revs, it gets smoother. But everything works in harmony on this bike. Suspension, brakes, electronics. Like I said, the electronic suite. You've got an anti-wheelie control, a traction control, you've got ABS, you've got pit lane limiter, cruise control. I don't know if I've got everything, but there is so much on this bike. There are rider modes, also your rain, track, sport, everything. You can dial it in, even your traction control. There is so much on this bike. I think you might just need a PhD. I'm joking, it's not that complicated. Aprilia has a very neat layout. Love this front, this little 1100 factory, just reminding you that you are on a proper high-end track weapon of Aprilia's. I think it's important to do a little bit of traffic as well. I always like to see how bikes handle in traffic, so should you wish to commute. Yeah, we found ourselves some traffic, and in traffic I am using the clutch. Gives me more control. I'm a bit of a traditional kind of guy. I like the control, putting out the clutch slowly in traffic like this. But this V4 motor has nice low down torque, so you don't need to rev the nuts off this bike. You can run it low revs. I'm at the moment between 3,000 and 4,000 RPMs, good control and enough torque if I want to go. Power, the horsepower we'll leave for the racetrack, and comfortable enough for lane splitting and riding in traffic, doing a bit of commuting, so you don't really have to trailer this bike to the racetrack. You ride it there and ride it home.
I must say I've really enjoyed my day on this bike, so let's go out to the track and have some fun on Red Star Raceway. we're on our way back now after having some fun on the racetrack. I must say this bike makes you feel competent. This bike gives you confidence, instills confidence, and it really does everything you ask it to do. I think to 99.9% of us out there, we will never be able to ride this kind of a bike to its full capacity and potential, but that is the stunning part. The limitation of these bikes is us. And I must say, for me again, this particular Swan Song 2020 RSV4 factory is the pinnacle of the 12 years of RSV4 produced. And for me, really special once again, because I was in 2008, I was at the Vallelunga World Superbike race when Troy Bayliss was supposed to wrap up the World Superbike Championship on his Ducati, and they announced that day that Max Biaggi would be unveiling the brand new RSV4 in Rome. So off the racetrack, we left the racetrack, off we went into Rome, and that's where we saw the Roman Emperor Max Biaggi unveil. It was like a rock concert. We saw him unveil the RSV4. So very special bike to me, having been there at the unveiling in 2008 in Rome. And also the Route 21 collection. We have got the Max Biaggi RS4, which is a 4-stroke 125 in our collection in the Max Biaggi World Superbike winning colors of the first world title he made. The second world title he had the Alitalia colors, but just all-round stunning bike. I do think we need to add this one, because in my opinion this will be a collectible and will gain in value. It has so many features over and above all the other RSVs, RRs and RFs and factories that were produced. This is the pinnacle of those 12 years. So please remember to click like, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and follow us for more.